Hi everybody, it's CJ. I know it's been a while since I posted anything, and I got caught up in an outdoor project. I stained my deck, which took, I don't know, about 8 months or so. It really didn't, but it felt that way. If you have the choice, definitely get someone else to do it. The good thing was I use it as therapy whenever possible. I did use my right hand to paint. Mostly I did it with my left hand because I didn't want weird, crazy paint on the walls as it went through, but I tried to use my right hand as well. So get a little therapy in there and build up on one more thing I couldn't do last year. Um, what I want to talk about is kind of the future of where we're going. One of the things I want to start doing is posting a lot of videos about sodium and how you can live a low sodium lifestyle and how you can take it out of your diet with little effort. It will take some work and take you probably giving up some things that you like, but why should people listen to me? Am I an expert? Absolutely not. Am I a regular guy that was told, hey, you have to go on a low sodium diet? Yes, I am. Um, did I go absolutely off the edge and crazy when they told me that? At first, no, because they said it when I had my first stroke last year, and I basically laughed and ignored them because, excuse me, that wasn't why I had my stroke. And then I had the second stroke and thought, hey, this couldn't hurt. Um, so somewhere in between, I learned a little bit about sodium, and I want to pass that on to others because the first thing I learned was I don't know anything about sodium. So I just want to kind of revisit today and let people know why they should listen to the stuff I'm saying. So I had my first stroke in February of 2019. They didn't really know why I had a stroke. So they went with all the basic stuff. Okay, you're a smoker. Not really. I smoke cigars on occasion. You're overweight. Yes, I was. You must have a heart problem that you've been ignoring. I really didn't. I had been told, hey, we should check your blood pressure. And I kind of laughed it off. And then I had a stroke. So at the end of my first stroke, they put me on the low sodium diet when I was in the hospital. Then they took me off it. Then I went to rehab and they put me on it. Then they took me off it. Then they put me on it. And when I was coming home, they said, you need to be on a low sodium diet. And they sent the dietitian in. And my wife was there when she came in that day. And she said, hey, I'm here to teach you about a low sodium diet. And I said, okay, what do we have to watch out for? She said, number one, you need to put the salt shaker down. Just stop putting salt on everything. And I said, that's easy because I don't. I truthfully didn't. Salt was not an additive. I had seen years ago issues with other family members that were living on salt, and I really didn't. So she said, okay, next is you have to stop eating canned vegetables. All these canned vegetables will kill you, frozen or fresh. And I said, that's what I eat. I don't eat canned vegetables. Um, and through talking to the dietitian, I said, instead of salt, I had hot sauce. Well, that can be really good, and I'll talk about it on a future video, or it can be really bad because the way that some manufacturers make their hot sauce taste great is by loading it up with sodium. The way that some manufacturers make it taste great is by loading it up with peppers. Depending on the mix is how you're going to be. I unfortunately had one of the higher in sodium that I was using to replace a salt shaker. I'll just add hot sauce. That was causing me to be high in sodium. So I was like, oh, I got to take a look in that. So from that, I had the second stroke and they put me on a low sodium diet again. And I was like, all right, now it's got to be serious. Like, this is crazy. I had a stroke. I don't want to go through this again. What are we going to do? And I started cutting sodium out of the diet everywhere. I went for my follow-up from the first stroke after I got out of the rehab for the second stroke, to my neurosurgeon. And, that morning, one of the things I had found was you have to be careful what medication you're taking because they put sodium in a lot of it. And I got really mad because here I was doing all this craziness to take sodium out of my diet. And, wasn't in any of the pills I had to take because I was taking infinitely more pills than I ever took before. And I happened to ask him that day. He said, "Do you have any questions?" And I said, I do have one. Like, can you tell me? I couldn't find the sodium content. And I noticed it about 10 minutes before we left in my pills, but I don't want to take pills if I'm making this effort to cut sodium out of my diet. I don't want to take it in my pills each day and be productive. And he said, "I don't know, but I'll find that out. But just out of curiosity's sake, why are you on a low sodium diet?" And I said, I kind of went like, and he said, "It's not a bad thing." He said, I'm looking at lifestyle changes too, and I'm trying to cut that out, but as long as you're not crazy about it. And I said, "Well, you should have told me that about a month and a half ago when they told me to cut sodium out, because I went deep off the edge." So I learned a lot about sodium when I looked through everything, and I'd like to pass that knowledge on because one of the big things I learned is I didn't know crap, and there's a lot of information out there. You eat something that on the front says healthy, and you think, "Yay, it's healthy. It's got to be good for me." But when you actually look at it, you find out that, well, they called it healthy because what people are looking for healthy is how to lose weight. So they're going to get flavor somehow. And what I want you to start realizing now and start thinking about is they're going to add fat, they're going to add salt, they're going to add sugar. One of those three things is where they're going to get the flavor. And in America today, in the world today, there's much more onus on losing weight. So, they take the fat out, they take the sugar out, and it tastes like cardboard. So they go, "Hey, we'll load it full of sodium." So that's one of the things. You think you're being healthy, but you're raising your blood pressure, making your heart work harder, the whole 9 yards. So that's one of the things I'll go into. And I know I'm kind of babbling as I go. I got a lot of stuff going through my head. What I want to get out there is, I've been through it. I have nobody saying, "Hey, get people to cut the fat because." Cut the salt because it'll take things out of the rest of your life that's a problem. You'll make your heart work less. Your blood pressure will go down. Believe it or not, you'll lose weight by eating stuff that's lower in sodium because you won't hold on to the water as much. You won't see your ankles swell and blah blah blah. When I started everything on the low sodium diet, since I was going crazy, those around me were unfortunately taken into my craziness. And a friend of mine took me very seriously, and he would call me and let me know if he had a bad sodium day because he had bacon and whatnot. But because I was watching everything, he started watching everything, and he let me know that he got under 200 pounds for the first time in 15 years by watching that. I have another friend who, went crazy also, but, started looking at where the sodium was coming from. It's definitely not a bad thing. I don't recommend anyone go as crazy as I did because I was trying to cut down to 0, which is insane. But I did learn how to take it out and what to look for. So that's the tips I'm going to give as we move on. So I know I've babbled a lot. and I've talked about it a lot, but I want people to understand why they should pay attention to what I'm talking about. So I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks I learned along the way. And the next time I do a big freezer meal day, I'm going to shoot some videos and now with my editing software, learn how to voice over that and tell you how to make some very easily made, throw them in the crock pot type meals that are lower in sodium and how to take the sodium out of regular stuff. So you know, you're not gonna cut everything out. I'm not gonna be sodium free on everything, but you will drastically cut down your sodium content that you have. You'll feel better overall, and you'll probably annoy your friends and family like I did by telling them, "Do you know how much sodium is in that?" So we're gonna go on a little adventure together. Going forward, I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 videos a week put up. Like I said, it depends on which way it's gonna go. I'm gonna have some recipes. I'm gonna have some tips and tricks, and I'm gonna see where else the channel goes as I find new things that I go, hey, I couldn't do that either. I'll add that on and see what else we come up with. So there's hope out there. You will get better. Put the work in, put the effort in. Be aware of what you got to do to get it right. Understand that everybody's journey is different. And you know, don't stop fighting to get it done. Don't be happy with good enough. Try and go where you are. You may not get where you were before, but get as close as you can. So thank you very much. I look forward to this journey with all of you. There's hope out there. Hit the buttons, like and subscribe. We want as many people to see this and have some hope as possible. There's going to be a notification, a bell of some sort that you can hit as well, and that'll update you every time I post something, so that we can get the message out there. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.